I'm not as, for those of you that know, I'm not as partisan as other people in other parties. For me, it's a little different. For me, I'm very proud of the fact that I am a member of the Conservative Party, but for me, it's about serving people. And for me, it doesn't matter whether you believe in the red, the orange, the green, the purple, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant to me. I'm going in there to serve the people. And I've always believed in that. And I've always tried my very best to convey that message to other people who wanted to run for office. Because if you run for a brand, you're serving yourself and the brand. But if you serve, if you run for the people, that's when it matters. That's why you know you. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Public life isn't, and I've said this because some of you may know, as the minister said earlier, it is true. I have been involved in the party for 22 years. I got involved when I was very young. The issues that got me started were something that may not resonate with a lot of people. I cared about homelessness in Toronto. I was very young and I wanted to address that. And I was sent by my guidance counselor to talk to people, and that's how I got started, because I went in and I wanted to do something about it in my tiny little way. And over the years, I've learned a lot. First of all, I learned that that issue has nothing to do with federal politics. So my guidance counselor shouldn't have sent me to a federal politician. But throughout the process, I've learned that if you want, and as soon as I got involved with the party, and as many of you know, I've served on every executive level of the party. Over the years, I was asked to train people. I was asked to meet with those who wanted to run for office on behalf of the party. So James knows this. I used to meet with people all the time, and I had a couple of questions for them. The very first question I'd ask them is, are you doing this to get a job? Honestly, because if you are, I'm in business, I have a lot of connections, I can help you with that. If you are going in, if you already have a job and you want to sacrifice to run for office to serve the people, that's when you're going to be successful. But if you're going to run for office to get a job, people will see through you in such short time, you will not be a successful individual and you'll not be able to serve. So one of the things that we constantly have to do, and I do this all, is I constantly remind myself that this isn't about me. This is about the people. And there's a truth. Many of you are here because at some point in the last few years, we've done something together. Whether we've helped somebody, whether we've helped a family or an individual, or somebody who's about to get deported, or somebody who had to get unified with their family. You know that I have never cared one bit what background, what race, what political view, what religion you believe in. None of that has ever mattered to me. To me, it matters, and I respect those, and I repeated this to some of my friends who are human rights activists. It matters to me if you believe in humanity. This election that I'm running in is about serving the people. That's the honest truth. I've done it, and the mayor can tell you, I've done it as a small business owner in Richmond Hill. I have done my very best, quietly, to serve as many charities as I can, and I've been involved in many organizations, service clubs, just to be able to pay back. Because at some point, we all reach a point where we can now say, we're in a comfortable area where we can now give back to others. Well, thank God, and thanks to Canada, my family is able to reach that, just like many of you who are successful business owners. So I ask you to help me to be able to help others. I promise you, as those of you notice, I'm not going in this for selfish reasons. And I promise you that. Those of you that know that about me. We have, as James said, 28 days left until election day. It's a tough battle. It's an election period where a lot of things are said. And I don't fault the media. I have to, Salvador, when you said something about the media, I don't fault the media at all. You know what we can do? We can do a better job as a party to win the media over. to me, it's never been good enough to say, she doesn't believe in what I believe in, therefore that's it. That's it. We're done. No, I've always believed in this, and it's the truth. And if people practice this, you'll see we have a lot more in common than most people, and that's the reality. So if we reach out, and as a party, we have to do a much better job at reaching out to people, getting out our message, so that it's not conveyed the wrong way, so that people can actually hear from us. But the best way to do it is directly to the people. I have now, you've heard me on Thursday night at our event, those of you who were there, I'm now proud of the fact that I have now finished knocking on every single door in Richmond Hill once, and I've already started the second time. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of sacrifice, but that's how you properly serve the people. Because in our system, you don't have to do anything. You put your name on the ballot, as many MPs have been elected in the past. You put your name on the ballot and simply get elected. Because I made a commitment to serving the people, I have now worked as hard as I can every day from 2 o'clock until 8:30 canvassing on doors. And my wife can tell you my days are about 16, 17 hours a day campaigning right now. And that is the commitment you make to the people. So I ask you once again to continue supporting me, to continue believing in me. I promise you I won't let you down. You supporting me now, I take this so seriously, and it's so important to me. I want you to look back again and say, I will do such a great job. I will do my very best, so that later on you will not be embarrassed to say I supported Mike. You will hold your head up and say I stood with him, because I believe we have such great work ahead of us that it requires all of us to be involved. I'll end with this. As a small business owner, people have always asked, about political parties, and I'll end with this. I'm a small business owner, so for me, it has to be, and this is not a shot at the opposition parties. As you know, I don't do that. All parties go through different periods in history where they are the right party for that period. This party right now, no party is ever perfect. No party is always on the right side of it. But right now, when you put everything on the scale, this is the party that needs to stay in power for the better of Canada in the future.
Absolutely.
As the minister said, 80% of our economy is created by small and mid-sized businesses. People like us, quite frankly, many people that are here right now, we're the ones who contribute. So it is important to me to be part of a party that respects taxpayers and believes in a system where taxpayers and small businesses are given an opportunity to thrive, so that we can have the resources to be able to help those who can't help themselves, who are in need of some assistance. That's the ideal system, right? And right now, quite frankly, only one party offers that. And without killing any more of your time, I thank you again for your generosity. I thank you for your time, for your support, and your unconditional love from some of you, and most of you over the years. Some of you have been, honestly, it's just my family, I have to say, they have just, my wife, I cannot say enough. You know that it gets tough, because there are times when I see my mother sometimes. I used to go and see my mother at least once or twice a week. Especially since we had a health scare a couple of years ago where she spent 5 months in the hospital. So my mother is so excited about my campaign, but she's so emotional about it. We don't come from a family of politicians, to be honest. I'm a rare breed. We've never been political people, never have been. So my mother has become a Facebook junkie. She scans every possible thing you can possibly imagine, and the minute I post something, it's usually a competition between Salman Sima and my mother to see who's gonna like the thing. Last week, somebody had written a comment on one of my posts, And I went home, my mother was in tears. She was heartbroken. And she said, how could they say that about you? That is not true. You don't do this, you don't do that. And my father had tried to comfort her just before I got home. And I told my dad, I said, you know, just let me handle this if you don't mind, because I have a much better connection with my mother. I sat her down, I said, Mom, I told you at the beginning of this is going to be, it's a campaign, it's politics. They're called the opposition party because they have to oppose what you say. If you expect the opposition to say bravo, it won't be much politicking. And you know, in her she had Farsi people in Farsi we say bogs. She could barely speak. She said, "But it's hard, honey, when it's your son." I said, "Mom, it's hard when it's you." But the truth is that this is the beauty of this country, is that it gives us the opportunity to be able to express ourselves and to, yes, maybe sometimes sometimes we overstep our boundaries, but that's okay. The beauty of this country is that it allows us to oppose one another. It allows us to say, well, maybe, Michael, you should be doing this. And I can tell you, I have learned a lot from people who do not share my beliefs. Well, they have changed the way I think about things just by simply having a dialogue. So, won't take any more of your time. I hope that you enjoy breakfast, brunch, lunch, whatever it is at this point now. Thanks a million, and I look forward to seeing all of you again soon.